In 2008, Jeff Lerner found himself working as a piano player with almost $500,000 in debt when he discovered the world of online business. Fast forward to now, and his $15 million turnaround story is inspiring millions around the world. In 2018, after building multiple 8-figure businesses, earning multiple appearances on the Inc. 5000, and winning multiple 8-figure awards, he founded ENTRE Institute, where he has taught over 50,000 students his unique digital real estate approach to online business, to which he credits his success. His online videos have been viewed millions of times, and he is the host of Millionaire Secrets, one of the fastest growing podcasts in the world. His mission now is not only helping people learn his digital real estate techniques, but to create their own awesome lives by using what he calls the 3 P's of excellence. Hello and welcome to Talk Business with Jeff.
I'm so grateful to be here, man. And I don't know if you want me to regale your audience with how I'm coming in hot here, but you know, my hair's a mess. Clearly I haven't shaved. I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it's freezing here because I haven't even had time to kick the heat on. And I'm ready to go, man. This is how we do it.
You're just showing off that you've got hair, Jeff. There was no need for that low blow.
Sorry. But although I will say, I have a vlog now, right?
Yeah.
So all this footage of me from different angles, sometimes my family will film. And I've noticed, I don't know if your audience can see it, but around here, starting to pay the price for all my hard work, man. So I'm gonna be right there with you in a few years.
You talk about the gift of hitting rock bottom. How bad did things get, Jeff?
Oh, you mean how good did things get? How good was the gift? It was awful. So I was, and I'll give you the quick version because I want to just cover as much ground as we can here. Yeah. But basically, all through my 20s, I'm a musician, which meant that I did what I did for love and for joy and for creativity, not for money. I didn't go into, nobody becomes a jazz musician to get rich.
Yeah.
But you reach a point where it's not about wanting to be rich, but you want to be like, okay, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be like destitute and stressed all the time. So I was always kind of betting on like, I'll do my music. That'll kind of be my baseline. It pays me, between 40 and 60 grand a year all through my 20s. Like at least I'm surviving, but I was doing a lot. I mean, I had to play anywhere from 7 to 9 gigs a week. So more than 1 gig per day to earn that, teaching lessons too, and trying to finish school. But I was like, I'll keep taking shots on businesses. And my approach was, I'll live off what they pay me for the gigs, and I'll invest my tips. So my tip money would go towards starting businesses and just failing businesses one after the other. And that when it got so bad is when I had taken a few years of tip jar money. I'd given it all to the banks as my contribution to secure several $100,000 in financing to open these brick and mortar pita restaurant, like, the Mediterranean pita sandwiches.
Yeah.
It was these 2 franchise locations that sold these pitas. And, I don't think people realize like how much these things cost. Each one of these stores, and these stores were only open mainly a few hours a day. They were in food courts. That was like a big lunch rush. There was a little bit of a breakfast, but I mean, they closed at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I'm in the hole $250,000 on each one of these stores. I say in the hole, I mean, I have big bank loans I got to service, and I got to sell hundreds of these pitas every day just to pay the notes.
Yeah.
And anyway, I opened those in 2007, which was what they called the Great Recession. The bubble burst, everything collapsed. All my orders went away. And I was left holding the bag on $495,000 in total debt. 2008, I was a 29-year-old piano player. That was the only thing I could fall back on. $330,000 of those dollars was debt directly to the United States Treasury because they were Small Business Administration federally guaranteed loans, which means you can't bankrupt out of them. You can't hide from them. You don't even owe the bank anymore. You owe the government. It's the same thing as owing taxes.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere to hide. The other $165,000 in debt was to big landlords, state taxing authorities, payroll tax, unemployment tax. And then, to top it all off, my wife was like, you're crazy. I don't want to be married to an entrepreneur anymore. I can't do this. You're gambling with our livelihood. Why can't you just get a job? All this stuff. And so, but I'm also I lost my apartment. So I'm like, listen, I know you hate me. I know your parents aren't big fans of me either, but is there any way I could come live at your parents' house for a while? So we ended up moving in with her parents, and I'm just living in the spare bedroom. I don't even want to go out into the main house because I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm guilty, I guess you could say, in their eyes.
Yeah. And
that was November 2008. It was the week of Thanksgiving is when I discovered online marketing, and I started learning affiliate marketing, and $495,000 in debt. I paid 18 months, and that was the start of my turnaround.
Wow. So talk us through that turnaround. What did you specifically do, Jeff?
So I learned about affiliate marketing, and it was the absolute, and that's not the only business I'm involved in or that I've been involved in or that I teach, but it was the great place for me to start. Yeah. Because it's the closest thing there is to a zero cost business, right? You don't have to have any inventory. You can run it all yourself. You don't have to, even fulfill on customers. You don't have to hire a customer service agent because the customer is not actually buying from you. They're buying from your link that connects to someone else selling the products. All the support and fulfillment burden is on somebody else. Yeah. And you can get a ton of reach for pretty inexpensive, right? You need maybe $100, $200 a month for some funnel building software, some way to create pages. Now, this was 2008, so it wasn't like today where there's, ClickFunnels, or we have a software called ENTRE. Like, none of that existed. I used Adobe Dreamweaver, and I was having to actually code the pages myself. Yeah. But I had a cell phone, and I had a laptop, and I had, some basic tools, and an email marketing platform is $19 a month. So I was able to actually put the pieces in place to go do a business. And affiliate marketing, the only other thing I could see that maybe would have saved me would have been if I'd gotten involved in like the right multi-level marketing company, just because you can get involved so cheap. But that would have taken years, and it was not the work that I wanted to do. Affiliate marketing allowed me to scale really quickly. And I'll tell you the key thing that I did right, and this wasn't I was smart, it was because I had really good mentors, is I went out and found affiliate products that had what we call a value ladder or a product staircase or an ascending model. There's different terms for it. But basically what it means is an affiliate product or a company with an affiliate program that has different products at different price points. Yeah. So you might send a link to a prospect to go buy a, $99 whatever, but then they might buy the $99 whatever, and they might decide after a while, I want to upgrade to the $1,000 whatever. And then I want to, I'm really loving this. 6 months later, they might go, I want to go all in on the $5,000 whatever, right? Whatever type of company it is. And certain companies that have those types of product stacks, they also have affiliate programs that'll pay you commissions all the way through the value ladder. A lot of affiliate programs do not. They just pay you one time for the acquisition of the customer, and then they'll sell everything everything they can, and they don't necessarily pay you on that at more than a fixed amount. So I happen to find really good affiliate programs at what we call high ticket backends. And the other thing I did was I tried to turn the negative environment into a positive environment, meaning people were losing their jobs, people were in a ton of debt, businesses were frustrated because old school methods of marketing, like the phone book and stuff, weren't working as well. People had a lot of distrust of 401ks and pensions and the big banks that they perceived had created this bubble and wrecked the economy. So I honed in on two types of products. I honed in on products that taught digital marketing and could speak to the business climate at the time that says, hey, you don't know how to grow your business, uncertain economy. You're nervous because things are volatile, and you know that the old stuff doesn't work. So let me refer you to programs that teach you this new style of marketing for business owners or for individuals that wanted to start a business. So that was a really, really good decision for me. And the other type of product that I found was I went and found a really, really good financial education product that their pitch, and they've been saying it for years. They've been saying, look, you can't trust the banks. You can't trust the power brokers on Wall Street. The whole game is rigged. The whole game is trying to squeeze juice out of the little guy to enrich the fat cat. And now in 2007, 2008, the world had just seen tangible evidence of that truth. So it was a great company for me to bring to the forefront and say, look at these guys. They called this. They were telling you to sell real estate and buy gold in 2006, a year or two before you would have been rich if you had, and you were ruined if you didn't.
Yeah.
And they had a big ticket back end. And so a lot of affiliate marketing is about finding the right products that are right for the market and they're right for the model.
Yeah.
I did both those things. That's how I paid off that debt.
Wow. You're a huge believer in digital real estate. Explain to us what that is, Jeff.
Yeah, digital real estate, like I always say, and look, I've spent so much time in this world. I'm probably actually, if there's a few things I'm pretty smart at, one of them is probably digital marketing and the new business economy, so to speak. But I'm smart enough to keep things simple. And I try to find out, partly for myself, because I need very easy reference points. Like I feel like the reason that, and I'm not trying to get theological here, but the reason Moses came down and said, here are 10 commandments that are very sweet, is because people are like, they're easily confused and they're busy and they get distracted and they forget what's important. You gotta have like really simple things to latch onto, right? Like thou shalt not kill. Okay, I can remember that. Don't kill people. So digital real estate was my way of basically taking a set of observations and a set of standards and a set of beliefs around how to do business on the internet and trying to coin a term as simple as thou shalt not kill, so that people could remember it. Because as soon as people go on the internet, they get bombarded with all this crazy stuff, right? And all these shiny objects and all these gurus promising all this craziness. And I just want them to have a very simple filter that they can look at everything through, that essentially cuts away 98% of the crap, so they don't have to think so hard and work so hard. And the digital real estate concept is that filter. Yeah. It basically says, do not get involved in a digital business that does not do the two primary things that any real estate investment should do, which is generate a measurable cash on cash return in the short term and build an asset that can grow and scale and create leverage in the long term, and that should theoretically get more valuable over time. Yeah. And if you just apply that lens to all internet business, you will find that 98% of it is garbage, and what's left over is what I teach.
Yeah. And what you teach is done through ENTRE. Tell us all about that, Jeff.
Yeah, ENTRE Institute. I founded ENTRE 2.5 years ago. I say I founded it. I don't know that it was ever officially founded. It's not like I took a shovel and dug a hole in the ground and said, here shall be ENTRE. It was more like I had this vision of like, I could take everything I've learned from a decade of making tens of millions of dollars on the internet through all different types of business models. I did as an affiliate marketer. I did it in e-commerce. I did it with a digital agency. I even did it with an MLM, but nobody would have known it was an MLM because I built an online funnel, so I never had to talk to anybody. Like, I did all these different things with online business that were consistent with the digital real estate principle. And I'm like, I could teach this to people, and I see a reckoning coming. And obviously I didn't know COVID was going to happen, but I could see back in fall of 2018 that kind of this reckoning coming, that like at some point we have to declare the old world is done, and now we're going to all live in the new world. And if you try to hang on to the old world, it's your fault because it's been declared, right? And I kind of feel like COVID did that. But I could just sort of feel it. And I'm like, I got to start teaching these principles to people, because there is, and not even just on the internet, there's ways you can actually approach real estate with a lot more leverage than you used to and a lot lower, cost of entry. New economy that, like, if people will wrap their heads around, they are so empowered and so liberated with all the choice that they could possibly want in this world. But so many of us are stuck in the economy that our schooling tried to prepare us for, as if that economy even still exists. Yeah. And that's why we're not finding the results that we want. And so I started putting all this content out to market starting in the fall of 2018, and certain videos, certain pieces of content just took off like a rocket ship. I'm talking, I was a nobody. I had like a few hundred followers. I had like maybe like 1,000 Facebook and like 500 Instagram followers that were just my family and friends and extended friends and stuff. I had no YouTube presence at all. Nobody, you know, I had some results. I had made good money, but here's the thing. I had made good money providing services and education to people about this new economy that was coming or that was here, but I hadn't actually gone all the way into it and started building a personal brand and leveraging social media and started creating my own tribe and my audience and all this stuff. So really all I had to show for the work that I had done up to that point was money.
Yeah.
I didn't have a brand. I didn't have an audience. And so all of 2018, I said, okay, I need to go all in on this, and I need to become the best student of my own evangelism. And I need to show people how it works. I need to start doing content marketing. I started putting it all out. It took off. And by summer of 2019, so it was about 11 months of just planting seeds of value. Summer 2019, I was like, I got to sell something. People are like hitting me up, like, Jeff, how do I learn from you? I love your videos, but how do I go deeper? Basically they were saying, how do I pay you money to like help me? And obviously I don't want to be in the coaching business. So I started putting courses together, and the first course I made, I launched it on July 22nd, I think, 2019. I locked myself in a hotel room. I spent a couple weeks building a course. I edited it all myself. I did it all myself, and I could have hired people to help, but I did it because I wanted to demonstrate that anybody can leverage this model without a big budget and without a big network. So I did it all myself. July 22nd, I launched my course. I spent a few bucks on Facebook ads. It was a $39 course with a couple upsells. I grossed $341 on my first day selling the course. I've now sold that course almost 130,000 of that course. And probably, you know, now there's other courses and there's a whole ecosystem and there's all this other stuff you can do. And we have coaches and we have a mastermind, and we have more advanced digital training courses and stuff. And, you know, that was, you know, I don't want to beat my chest about how big we are and how cool we are, but I mean, 120 something thousand students, many tens of millions of dollars, you know, we're scratching for that 100 million mark. And this is all happening in 21 months.
Yeah. Amazing. So good. So good. Many people that have seen your ads will be familiar with how you talk about the fastest way to become a millionaire. Let us into a secret. What is the fastest way to become a millionaire?
You know, it's to find. Now, I want you to notice, I didn't say the fast way. I said the fastest way, because to do it right always takes some time.
Yeah.
And more than taking time, it takes the accumulation, the development of skill, and the delivery of value. Now, there are some people that already have the skill that they can deliver a lot of value very quickly. If you sign LeBron James to your basketball team today, you do not have to wait a few years for him to develop and deliver value. But you're probably paying a lot of money to sign him, but he's already got the skill. But a lot of people coming online or coming into entrepreneurship or even migrating from brick and mortar entrepreneurship into a more of a digital model, they don't have the skills yet. So it's kind of pointless to say, oh, well, how fast or, you know, how fast is it going to go? Like, I don't know. How fast are you going to learn to shoot, pass, and dribble, right?
Yeah.
But the fastest way is this. It's to focus on very specific high value skills and to eliminate as many variables as possible by finding other people that have successfully executed on those skills and doing everything you can to copy them right up to the point where you become a clone. But you got to stop short of the clone. There has to be a little piece of something special about you, some je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
But from a skills and an execution standpoint, focus on the right skills, copy as much as you can from people that have been successful with those skills, and then pepper in a little bit of your unique flavor. And that's the fastest way to become a millionaire.
Yeah. You've already done so much so quickly. Where will you be in 5 years' time? And what are you doing right now to make that happen?
I love that. I mean, we scaled almost 3,500% in the last 12 months.
Yeah. Wow.
So like, you know, and we're not, I mean, you can't do that multiple years in a row or else you become like, you're basically like the United States GDP. Like, But this year I expect it will still probably triple in size, just from we're we're in a critical mass building phase, and we're in a, trying to make an impact, trying to be a sexy story that people like, where these guys came out of nowhere and they went, they scaled to, we're bigger than a lot of private universities now, right? Yeah. And so we gotta get some attention in the market. But for us to really get where we want to be in 5 years, there's still a lot of work to be done to focus on quality and focus on infrastructure and focus on serving a broader market. Right now, we're very tailored around new entrepreneurs. But the reality is there are millions and millions and tens of millions of tradespeople that they've become experts in their trades, they've been well educated in their trades, and they've been completely underserved and neglected in terms of how to actually build a business and be an entrepreneur. Yeah. So I'm talking every real estate agent, every insurance broker, every mortgage broker, every chiropractor, every dentist, every, let's call them a small medical, not people that work in big hospital systems, but every medical practitioner, and on and on and on. These people are never taught how to leverage the digital economy, how to generate leads, how to construct an effective offer, how to use some direct response marketing and salesmanship, and how to scale in business, how to operate a business, how to build company culture, how to create loyalty and impact and build a personal brand. Like, how can you go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn to become a veterinarian and have zero clue how to get a customer? Yeah. Right? Other than like going to the dog park and handing out flyers. Yeah. So there's a world, where Entre is going to be eventually is we're going to be the defining institute in the world for teaching all entrepreneurs. And that's a very broad definition that basically means anybody that owns a business and gets a 1099. It includes freelancers. There's a lot of work to be done in that. And what I'm trying to do, I'd say at a macro level, is I'm trying to change the conversation around online education from being like, oh, well, what guru do you follow? And what platform do you use? And what show me your funnel, or like where it's this kind of like granular, like cult of personality, quick fix, microwave results. Like, oh, well, if I used to follow top, but I heard that if I hop over to Russell Brunson, then I'll have, results overnight. Like, bleh. Let's talk about, hey, do you want to go to Harvard? Do you want to go to Yale? Do you want to go to Stanford? Do you want to go to Penn? Let's elevate the conversation to be where there's standards, there's measurable outcomes, there's quantifiable value, and there's not this like guru cult personality hero model where, if Harvard University did online or entrepreneurial education in the new digital economy, that's what we want Entre to be. Yeah. But the challenge there, and you might say, oh, well, aren't you worried that Harvard's going to beat you to that? They can't. And we can get into the reasons why, but they physically can't do it, not equipped for it. So that's where we want to be in 5 years. There's a lot of nitty gritty, very professional, very unsexy infrastructure building and, culture and values reinforcement type of work to take the conversation out of the dark corners of the internet and really make it a mainstream thing that an 18-year-old graduating from high school can go to their parents and go, look, I want to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to go study at this institute. And their parents aren't freaking out.
Yeah. You've helped develop so many people. What resources have helped you develop?
Man, I was too broke when I started to go invest in, these big, expensive mastermind programs or whatnot. A few things I think really helped. The fact that I've never been I've literally never participated in the mainstream economy. I had one job when 16 years old. I got fired after 3 weeks. It was at a law firm. It was a big, kind of like top 10, top 20 law firm in the country, big billing. Everybody wore a suit. They had big corp clients. And I was so just appalled by the atmosphere in that building. I basically did everything I could to get myself fired. And fortunately I was successful in 3 weeks. And I said, I never again will I have a job. Yeah. So I intentionally withdrew from the whole paradigm, the whole matrix that most people spend decades in getting, I believe, indoctrinated with a lot of kind of bogus stuff, or at least it's not intentionally bogus. It's just not, it's not the reality. It's not the present most effective reality in 2021. Yeah. Maybe 40 years ago, it was good. 40 years ago, you could bank on working for the same company and retiring in 30 or 40 years. You cannot live like that anymore. And because I had never participated in the illusion or, the delusion, if you will, I didn't have a whole lot I had to unlearn. I didn't have a lot of bad psychological habits I had to break. I'd always been a jazz musician, man. I was creating music on the fly for a living.
Yeah.
So that was my real mentorship, right? That was my psychological and neurological programming that allowed me to move into entrepreneurship and not really skip a beat, because I was already used to making it up, figuring it out, and challenging myself and spending hours and hours and hours practicing these intellectually daunting concepts, and then going up on stage and just forgetting about it all and having fun and living on the edge and living at the fringe and hitting a wrong note, but instead of stopping and being like, oh, I'm sorry, can I try again? You have to pivot and you have to adapt. And jazz is a completely different idiom, right? So that was my real foundation. And then when I did go into business, I was able to find some good mentors. I was fortunate. I got into a community of affiliate marketers that were very sharp people, one of whom is actually the coach that I hired when I launched ENTRE to say, hey, I want to do this, help do it the right way. These are relationships now that are over a decade. And then I was very fortunate because I had a buddy, and I knew him from church, and he was leaving his corporate career. And this was 2008, 2009. He was doing kind of this crazy thing. Everybody said he was nuts, which he wanted to leave his corporate career and go become an entrepreneur. And he wanted to be a business coach. Well, there weren't really now everybody's a coach, right? You go on Instagram, you find 100 coaches in your feed. This 13 years ago, it was kind of a weird thing, and everybody thought he was a little nuts. And so listen, man, I don't have any money, but if you need somebody to practice on, I'm your guy. And as soon as I start making money, I'll pay you. And within 30 days, so I hired him in March of 2019. Two things happened in March of 2019 that broke me out. Like in January, February, and the first part of March 2019, I made like maybe $1,000 a month or $200, and I was spending just as much on ads. So I really wasn't making money. Yeah. March 2000, so I said 2019. I meant 2009. March 2009, I hired him as a coach. I say hired, I retained him and with a promise to pay later. And I went to an event. I scrounged up a few bucks and I flew to this event, and I met the guys that would become my mentors over the next several years. And there was, we always talk about the power of live events. Dude, going to that event and getting the belief. I mean, yeah, there were actionable strategies, but mostly it was the belief. Like, these people are really doing it. These are guys. And I remember I had this moment. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not like mega tall, but I'm a little taller than average, I guess. And I remember this moment, seeing this guy, this group of people talking, and they'd all been earlier. So I knew these guys are all multi-millionaires, and none of them have jobs, and they all have the life I want, right? I was a little bit taller than all of them. And I remember thinking, like, not only could I do what they do, I'm even a little bit taller than they are, right? They're like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". And there was just something about that moment that made me realize these are human beings and I can do what they've done.
Yeah.
And took everything from that event. I came home, started implementing with my coach. The next month, I want to say I made like $9,000. I remember May The next month I made $24,000. I actually finished out March at $9,000. April, I made $24,000. May, I made $40,000. June, I made little over $70,000. And now I had a pathway I could see to go, hey, if I can keep this up for a year or two, I'll be able to pay off this debt.
Yeah.
And then I can really start to live.
Yeah. And
so then I just doubled down and went even more nuts. And that's kind of how it happened.
Jeff, I could talk to you all day. The last half an hour has gone so fast. Thank you so much for your time. Do we have any closing thoughts? And also tell the listeners how they can keep in touch with you and follow your journey.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You can go on any major platform. Instagram and YouTube are the two where I spend most time and I post research. And just look up Jeff Lerner. My handle is Jeff Lerner Official. I will warn you, on Instagram, there's some loser out there, Jeff Lerner Official with an underscore, who's pretending to be me, who's hitting up my followers, who's trying to enroll them in some cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme BS. I've already reported them to Instagram 50 times. And just I wouldn't want any of your listeners to stumble into that. But Jeff Lerner Official, that's me. It's nothing but value. It's not being pitched. As far as parting thoughts, I'll say this. I'm kind of all worked up because I just came off like a 90-minute Clubhouse room where they were asking me this, a lot of these same type of questions. This is what I said. There's 3 stages of being an entrepreneur. And by the way, I stole this with permission from a guy named Carlos Reyes that I had on my show, The Millionaire Secrets. And it's such a clear way to explain it. There's survival, and there's status, then there's significance. Most people, like myself included, you start with survival. You just want to be able to live as an entrepreneur, right? And like ditch the day job or something. Then as soon as you start to get some results, you're like, man, I'm a big deal. I did a thing that most people couldn't do. Let me show what a big shot I am and how successful I can be. And it's about, this is where everybody on Instagram seems to be caught. They're trying to get status. They're trying to impress people, right? With their car or their house or something. Yeah. Then you graduate to significance. Significance is where I don't want to be the guy on stage winning the award. I want to be the guy at the back of the room watching 5 people up on stage get awards who I know I've positively impacted. Right. And to me, so if I can advise anybody anything, it's to smush those stages together. Figure out how to get your survival needs met somewhere else so that you're not constantly compromising or being tempted to do the wrong thing in your business just to make the quick buck. Screw the status phase, or redefine status as significance.
Yeah. Wow.
My status will be based on the value that I've delivered and the good that I've done in the world. But in the world we live in now, where the BS meter is so finely tuned and the trust and skepticism, or trust is so low and skepticism is so high, the faster you get in significance and trying to just serve and enrich the world and deliver value to the marketplace, the faster you'll actually build an audience, you'll build connection, you'll have a culture in your business that brings out the best in people. People will be willing, they won't be evaluating you on price. They'll be evaluating you on quality and connection and all the good qualitative factors. The faster you just get to significance, the faster you'll take care of survival and status. That's my parting thought.
Yeah, amazing. Jeff, and I understand as well, you've got something to give away to our listeners as well, right?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you said that. So we put a landing page together just for this episode. If somebody wants to go to millionairesecrets.com/David K, obviously your name and last initial, millionairesecrets.com/David K. We've got some great stuff on there, links to all my social stuff, and you can subscribe to my YouTube and all that. But I also have a free book that we're giving away called The Millionaire Shortcut that basically goes into more detail on the fastest way to become a millionaire.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, we're going to make sure we've got links to all of your socials. Enter that giveaway as well in the description below. Thanks again for your time, brother. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.